In this edition, we're going to talk about capos and key changes. For those of you who don't know what a capo is, that's what I've got right here. They come in many forms. These are two of the most common. The type I'm using right here. And it's as simple as just clipping it straight over here. The other is an older form, also very common and very easy to use. That just slips straight over in the middle of your fret and clamp it on, and it's adjustable depending on the thickness of your guitar's neck. Alright, there's many reasons for using a capo. One is the sound. The piece of music I just played is a piece I've written, and I chose to play it with the capo because it gives a certain sound that playing the chords open or playing them as bar chords just doesn't give. And that works very well in sort of folk style music. You'll find a lot of songwriters use capos a lot. Sometimes they use two capos to get alternate tunings that are interesting that you couldn't get in any other way. Other reasons for using a capo. One is to change the key for your voice. Just to bring it up and down so you don't have to relearn how to play it in another key. You've just learned the G major key chord scale, and with that and a capo and knowledge of how to use a capo, you can play pretty much anything. We will cover bar chords later, which mean you can play anything in any key at any time. But sometimes you leave this thing at home. Another reason to use a capo is because of your limitations as a guitar player. If at this stage all you've learned is the key chord scale as I showed it to you in G major, you can still play anything you like. Anything. And this will become a masterful tool for you. I do advise to continue on and learn how to play bar chords so that you can do it without this. And you're not using it for limitations, you're using it for simplicity, ease, for a sound, not just because you don't know. But right now, if you don't know, this is actually a very useful thing to understand. It starts like this. If you've got your G major key chord scale and you put the capo on the 3rd fret, you can play the chords and it sounds higher. And you'll find this becomes what is called B flat, or otherwise known as the gentleman's key, because men can sing very easily in this key and find lots of their high range and low range quite easily. So, if you notice, when we learned the Roman numerals and we learned the G major key chord scale and we learned that the degrees are always major or minor or diminished in those same degrees. So if you take B flat major and put it in the 1st degree, and then you'll find the other rule that doesn't change is the alphabet. So B flat, C, D, and so on. You will find the key that you're using, and you'll know what these chords are called to tell other people. One thing to know when you're using a flattened key is that, like the 7th degree, where the new sharp always comes in, it becomes the flattened keys, it always changes on the 4th. And what you find is that the rhyme to learn that, as I shown earlier in the earlier videos, is B, E, A, D, G. So that's your order of flats, much like the order of sharps you learned. They're quite easy to remember, but what you'll find is the root of the key, and a flat key is always flat. And the fourth degree is where it changes. So in between there, between your B flat and your fourth degree, if any of those ones are not flat that are in your order of flats, you need to make them flat. Okay, so we've learned how to do that, but how did we get there? And it's simple. Music is made up of semitones, also known as half tones, depending on what part of the world you come from, or tones, which are also called whole tones. These descriptions make them easy to understand. And so if you want to go up a semitone, the easiest way to work that out is 1 fret equals 1 semitone. 2 frets equals a tone. So therefore, a semitone plus a semitone equals a tone. Depending on what part of the world you're from, you will know it as half tones. Half tone plus half tone equals a whole tone, which is actually very easy to understand. So, me putting the capo on the 3rd fret, 3, that's a tone and a half. Here is a quick, simple exercise in changing a key. If you were just using the capo, or if you needed to change it to playing bar chords, everybody else wants to know what you're playing, even if you're using a capo. So here is a simple exercise in how to explain it to everybody. You don't have to explain it. If you know, just tell them what chords you're playing. And this is a really good exercise for any instrument to keep going through. If you're a bass player, you're going to need this as much as a guitar player, because what you'll find is guitar players take it for granted quite often. But if you know what's going on, just deal with it. Alright, here's the simple exercise. We moved up tone and a half, 3 semitones, or 3 frets, and used a capo in the key of G. So the bass player wants to know what chords you're playing. Here we go. Simply, the root or the tonic of the key, which is what it's named after, is always the 1st and the 8th degree. So we can put that in because we know by where we put the capo what key you're in. So we can put B flat at the beginning and the end. The alphabet never changes. So we can go through and simply write the alphabet from B back to B. We understand this. B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Okay, we learned earlier that in a sharp key, the new sharp always comes in the 7th degree. And we also learned you don't have sharps and flats in the same key. So we learned the order of the flats. B, E, A, D, G. The new flats, just like the new sharps, come in the same degree all the time, but it's a different degree. It's the 4th degree is where the new flat comes in. So we therefore can go back from E, just like we would with the sharps, and go, okay, we know the key is flat. So we've got the B and the E. There are no more in this key. We also know the other thing that never changes within those degrees is whether a certain degree is major, minor, or diminished. So we can just go through and write them in. So we know now we have our key. We have our key and it looks very clear, and we can tell anybody what chords are available and what they are. So we've now got B flat, C minor, D minor, E flat major, F major, G minor, A diminished, and B flat. So we also know that the relative minor, we've talked about this before and we will touch on the importance of it. Your lead guitarist wants to know this key so he can work out what this is. He needs to know the relative minor because a lot of guitar players depend on the minor pentatonic of the relative minor, which always comes in the 6th degree. So if ever your guitarist is going, oh, I haven't used a flat key before, you can therefore say to them, if you're playing in pentatonic, you're looking for G minor.